Fire. I'm on fire.
Literally.
Literally.
The world's on fire.
Yeah.
Especially this morning.
Oh.
I can't even get started. I am really furious. Okay.
Anyway.
The Gifted, yeah.
Can you tell us about your relationship with John this season?
Yeah, you know, I think she's really settled down, and I think finally for once in her life she's found her partner, her support, her person. But throughout the season, all of that's kind of thrown into a loop, and I think she truly questions, regardless of who you love. I think the bigger question is, like, where do you really see yourself? Like, you know what I mean? So I think she's playing with the question of what she's willing to sacrifice in order to truly be happy. So it's going great now, but you never know what happens in a couple months.
Drama.
Exactly.
And I mean, we haven't really seen her use her powers much.
Yes.
What's really coming from her and her storyline?
Yeah, I mean, it's not budget cuts. No. Portals are expensive. No, I think the main question for the writers is, like, you can get out of, there wouldn't be any story or there wouldn't be any conflict because Blink can literally get you out of any bad situation, and I think she's always used that. But I think it's more of a question of identity for Blink. Identifying as a mutant, identifying as a human, or identifying with people who can pass as human. So I think for her struggle is truly identity and being proud of who you are and showing your real colors, quite literally. Yeah. So it's not so much of power ability; it's more about identity.
Will we see her starting to use them more in future episodes?
In different ways. Oh, totally. I think you will see them used in fun in different ways, and quite possibly in terms of the cause, instead of just, you know, shuttling people through different portals, it's going to be used in a pretty neat way. Yeah.
What dynamic are you most excited for fans to see explored in the second season?
Well, I think the second season is you're introduced to a whole different ideology. You have the Mutant Underground, you have the Inner Circle, you have the Purists, the Purifiers, and then you have the other Mutant Underground, which is the Morlocks. They are literally a group of mutants that live underground. So you have four very different ideologies, and I think it's how they clash. The Inner Circle, which is very aggressive, I would call it the far right, which uses everything in their ability and their capital in order to get what they want and kind of like fuck everyone else. You have the Purifiers, another example of the far right, who don't even want the mutants around. They just want the pure humans, and that's it. The Mutant Underground, who chooses to live cohesively, and then the Morlocks, who, you know, choose to live underground and not be bothered by anyone. So they kind of have this amazing environment and amazing society where they're not bothered and they can just truly be who they are. So, did I answer your question? I'm so sorry. Okay.
Do you have any funny stories working with the cast?
Oh my goodness. You know, it's always a good time working with the cast, but it's quite funny because we have the Inner Circle who are all very pale and in like black turtlenecks in the summer. So it's usually quite different. And it's kind of like rags to riches. Like, you have the riches being the Inner Circle and then the rags being the Mutant Underground, so I don't think that's very funny. But funny stories, I mean, it's just such a treat when we do get to work together. It's like wrangling, you know, 30 kids together. Like, whenever we are together, like, the ADs have the worst times. They're like, do you have eyes on this person? Do you have eyes on that? And we're always kind of like scrambling, not on purpose, but it's just the way it is. But that's not very funny, and I apologize. Yeah.
Do you have like an episode this season that you're really looking forward to fans seeing, whether it's seen or something like?
Yeah, you know, we just shot an episode, and I think it's the final straw, the final question, and you get to of like where Blink truly belongs, or where she feels herself, like truly can feel herself and be open. And I think you'll see that later on in the episode. I believe it's 212, 213, where you get a really cool flashback of Blink's past as a young teen. So that'll be kind of cool. Yeah. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.